Alright, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre, and this time round we are set to face off against the only group that has ever beaten us in a raid. So, we'll see how that one fares. I mean, it's gonna be tough, but this time round, thankfully, we have some new allies that might be able to help us out that we didn't have access to before, so we might be able to have a few more counters up our sleeve, but we'll see how that goes, and I see that we have Tizo in here, who we need to be able to talk to. Tizo has seemed somewhat less cheerful since his run-in with Lendl and the accusers, our previous right. He approaches you, wanting for you to hear him out. Back room. Tizo seems unhappy about something Lendl said to him. Hawk. Tizo understands full well why Lendl is angry with him. Squeak! Oh dear. I mean, yes, voice cracks, but I mean, what do you expect? He's making weird sounds, okay? It's hard to replicate them. While Tizo does not like Lendl as a person, he recognizes nonetheless that he denied his freedom. Squeak room. It was a liberation rite. He did what he felt necessary. He wanted to help his friend go free. Sprocky! Nonetheless, he still feels a certain guilt and regrets that the rites force exiles into such situations. He falls silent for a while the 8 scribes ever intended for imps, or whether the 8 scribes ever intended for imps such as he to participate in the rites firsthand is difficult to know for certain. Then, Sprocky! Tizo is grateful to you for listening. He knows the scribes created the rites with good intentions. Sriak! He promises to keep doing his best to live up to the legacy of the scribes. He bounds up into the rafters with some of the other drive imps. Regardless of whether he truly is a descendant of Haub the Swallow, surely the scribes would have been proud of him. Oh, good job. Alright, we also have Wolfred's Planner, which we saw last time round for the first time. This is new to us, or well, was new to us. And I'm not going to go over this in detail again because we spent some time last go round looking at it, but it now exists here. We have a few entries in the Book of Rites, potentially. Maybe just one. The Accusers, okay? Guys that we just went up against. The Accusers formed under Golothanian. He's a big man. He values justice, loyalty, steadfastness. Well, this is in the words of Haub the Swallow the Accursed. Which, yeah, I mean, since it seems like each of the groups is sort of affiliated with one of the scribes, or maybe that is, or is not the case. Well, each of them is kind of affiliated with a given race, which is then associated with one of the scribes, I suppose. So, what I'm getting at is, if we're hearing about this from Golothanian, he would probably have a much different spin on this than Haub, who is maybe a little more removed from the accusers and might be a little more objective, or maybe adversarial. Golothanian, he says that the accusers take their name from one of his most accomplished legends. Legends? Legions? Legions. From his former military days. All among them, in fact, served the Master General at one time. They represent the stoutest-hearted people of the Empire, who held true to Muir and Golothanian to the end. The golden colors of their raiments are reminiscent of their old shining armor, is his claim. Ever shall they seek out those with the truest spirits and the strongest sense of purpose to replenish their ranks. Okay. They also stink. Of course, triumvirately based. Fine. Alright, let's continue. Alright, and time to take off. Let's see. So we head this way. Follow the location to the next right. I don't know if we can stop off anywhere in between. Suppose not? Oh, what is that? Something about the strange island you see below draws your attention. I see another person floating around there. Best to avert your gaze from the Isle of Calum. Even the scribes themselves thought to avoid the place. Let us fly on. The Isle of Calamar. Have we been here before? Forbidden Island, nestled in the Deathless Tempest. It has significance to the 8 scribes. I remember the Deathless Tempest. I do not remember this isle. And I also am still wondering what the deal was with that other floating harp that went by. Can we check it out? Looked like they went this way. They gone? Oh, okay, we went back. There. You. What happens if this happens? If we bump into you. Ah, pleasure to encounter you within the skies themselves, oh Nightwings. Apparently other people can fly. It's not just us. They deliberately crash into us, Father. Yet, you still address them in such a cordial manner. Yeah, I don't know. This might lead to some kind of confrontation with them. Maybe just dialogue. I'm not sure, but I'm curious. Now, Alma. I am certain that this was an honest accident, and it appears no lasting damage has been done. Please, take the helm, as I shall go and start to pick up all of the fallen artifacts which shook free from the falls after the impact. Perhaps some of these old heirlooms may yet be repaired with adhesive drawn from certain flora we may find along our long and difficult quest. Damn you, Nightwings. You stay away from us. We can continue to do it? That is pretty funny. Alright, so I mean, it looks like it's mostly just dialogue and not much else of note. It's not like we can face off against them. So I am curious as we pass through here if there's anything else that we can do. Maybe it's just that. I mean, that is interesting because it gives a little more life to the world in which we're traversing, that you do still see those other people roaming around and you can bump into them. Maybe you can't do too much when you do bump into them other than just have a quick chat, but it still seems more than... Oh. This is a different group. Alright, well, let's see. Because this is Hamatha's sister. Sisters, we are under attack! And I wonder, it might be that other people will do different things when we talk to them and are maybe not just only conversations. Hold! No, we are merely being mocked. By none other than the Nightwings. Mock us all you wish then, mistress of the Commonwealth. The sight of you in that utterly outlandish wagon, your mere existence is an affront to the act of flight. Now, why do you... I guess you do still need one of the fly-y carts, because apparently you can't really fly anymore. At least not for extended periods of time. Would that my sisters and I could soar tireless and free as we once did. But there you go. But nay, we must resort to such ignorable means of travel such as you. Now stay away from us, lest our vengeance should extend beyond your commonwealth and become much more personal in nature. What happens if we continue to do it? Okay, I'm just wondering. Oh, they fight back. Maybe? A little bit? Ooh, okay. This is something I was wondering was, might there be other things of note here? I see there's a point of interest here. I mean, these are the places where we can land, but what's the deal with this point of interest? The spring of Jomu has always flown forth with the crushed carapace of Balathanius, the legend of whose demise is a rather sordid tale. Perhaps you have already read in the book. Not all believe the book exists, of course, nor the Greater Titans, nor the Rites. You know much about the Greater Titans? Colossal monsters that once roamed the downside? The scribes together slew them, one by one, and through this forged their bonds. I have encountered exiles believing that this Titan perished quite by accident, rather than by a cunning trap laid for it by Jomir Merrymaid. Anyway, they took the Titan for a common beast. This is the cur of the scribes, right? 6 of the 8 scribes in the Book of Rites, known as the Brave or the Alpha Chief, that united the curves under a single banner and charted half the known world. Perhaps the stars shine down upon out-of-the-way locales such as this one to ensure that they alone shall witness the proceedings. Okay, so they may just be little bits and pieces of lore, little information that is not strictly necessary, but gives you a little more detail as to some of the history and some of the other things that are going on in the world, or have gone on in the past. Okay, so our two options: Blue Hive. The north route across the Jomir Valley passes the remains of the Hive Titan. Tay expressed an interest in exploring the pools along this route, or Fall Flat. I do remember these names from last go round. I think we went up to Blue Hive, if I remember correctly, when we were traveling on foot. The Fall Flat, the south route across the Jomir Valley, is riddled with barren rock and bone. Hamatha suspects that you may find something of value along the route. I mean, I'm always going to go with not the finding something of value, but the other thing. The other thing, I feel like, is usually, at least potentially, more interesting. You touch down in the heart of Jomir Valley, where first you face the fate and the distance. Oh. And the distance. Okay. Yeah, the distance were the people that beat us, and the fate, I think, were pushovers. You briefly, and they're the ones that we crashed into originally. You briefly wonder where they might be now, and how they fare. You now have little time before having to set forth by land. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Pamatha. Okay, let's give that a shot. In addition to, clicking this. I wonder if something happens if you click it a certain number of times. Maybe? Probably not, based on how many times we've done this. Although I did just see that cat went down. Okay, never mind. Quick book of rites, and then we'll look at Pamatha's scribe trial. So in the words of the Molten Millie, Wild Witch. Let's inspect. Make this a little easy on ourselves. The downside prairie first appears serene. It is not. The soil there accommodates only the region's brutish native vines and overbrush, the most likely food sources prove poisonous. Thus, we journeyed further north. Climate there grew fouler to my senses, though the Kur Jomir found it amenable. This sprawling valley, pocked with long, evaporated lakes, gives evidence to the monstrosities which roamed this land. We found the region's western edge to be more pleasant, on the whole. Therein we found sources of fresh water, whereas over to the east we found the edge of the land's most hideous decay. This is about the Jomir Valley, which is where we just set foot. We have something else in here as well? No, that was it. Okay. Let's do the scribe trial. I was beginning to wonder when you would return. Let's ask her what's on her mind, because apparently it's been long enough that she has other things to say to us. How very kind of you to visit me again like this, oh lovely reader. For I was just standing about, in the blackness of this void, thinking it would be most pleasant if something were to happen for a change. There was a long period of time before that this incarceration of mine failed utterly to do anything but bring me peace of mind. Now, not much of a punishment. Wait, I totally misread that, but anyways. I invite you to imagine an upbringing among the Sisters of the Arch, living on the outskirts of civilization, your days all full of training, which would kill you or just cripple you for life. What? An ancient band of killers trained almost from birth to carry out their missions without fail. All the sisters needed was a name, and a sum of 500 soul up front. Expensive, based on how much it's cost us to do things. Buy talismans. How much do you suppose I lost my sight? Or how do you suppose I lost my sight? I didn't realize you lost your sight. Or I think you... Okay, no, you did say that you lost many of your senses, I think. I guess that includes sight. Through glorious battle with the scribes? Or in a careless sparring session with my master? But I've not forgotten enough just yet. In any case, at first I welcomed the prospect of not having to struggle every moment to survive. But in less than 2 centuries, why, I started to grow terribly bored. It did not help at all that the Nightwings of the early days were the stogiest... Stogiest? I don't know what that means. Lot that you could imagine. Obsessed with obeying the book as strictly as they could. Some of them started to remind me of myself, I think, when I was young. Such idiots, a lot of them. But what am I saying, lovely reader? I shall not bore you further with such matters. I would have bored myself to death back then, only I could die. Like so many other things, I think mortality is something oft taken for granted, until it is taken away. So, given your mortality, what say if we get back to business? And let's do a scrap trial. It is the least that I can do in exchange for your company. You need but point me to the one you have in mind. I'm thinking of you, unless there's someone else that I'm not realizing is also eligible. Yeah, we don't have that many left. No talisman equipped. Thank you for reminding me. Let's see. We learned that the lucrative contract does not work. Can't use it to infinitely spawn coins, sadly. Otherwise, no, I don't think that's particularly relevant. 2 quickness is useful. The infinite stamina, I think, is dangerous because she's going to be outnumbered. We're in all likelihood going to be doing a 3 against 1. And so if we take someone out, chances are one of the other adversaries is going to pick up the infinite stamina and not us, which is not helpful. Other than that, I think that might be the way to go. She has a relatively low hope score, which means it takes her a while to respawn when she gets banished. And again, with her being the only person out here, when she gets banished, we're going to be in trouble. So, important that she comes back quickly. You ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Pamitha. I think we're going with Pamitha. Oh, you mean that feisty heart? She may yet be taught some manners, I should think. I shall attempt to bring her down to size. Let us bring her forth. Soon, Pamitha arrives and heeded the summons. You called for me, leader darling? Ah, it's that crystal. Then, let's hash it out. I'm ready. Harps such as Pamitha Theme have very high mobility in the rights and can fly clear over their adversaries. Do very much like that about her. Also, this arena, this one in particular, I'm now realizing, is basically a book opened up, which was probably abundantly clear from the get-go, but I just didn't realize it. It's clear now. Anyways, the apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, Harp. You answer to me here. Oh, a bossy one. Sure then. Go on, tell me more. Such a delightful student for a change. Come then, let us see what you can do, left to your own devices. Save for your reader's vigilance, of course. Let's show her what she wants to see then, reader darling. Okay, what do we have? Whoa, nope, you got me. I wasn't quick enough. Oh, and you are very quick. Yup. Uh-oh, you are super speedy. This could be a tough one. Some of these are quite difficult, I must say. Saw that coming. Oh, 1 for 1. What? You have a moon crest? I thought I had the moon crest. No! We are getting destroyed here. Wow. We may need a different strategy. Oh, you dodged me. How dare you? This is not going well. At all. Oops. Well, there's at least a single score. That's something, I suppose. Maybe we should just sprint and then score that way. Sprint and then fly. No! How dare you? Oh, and you got rid of me? I mean, this is gonna be it, right? Oh, I tried to throw it, but it was not a good idea. Oh, that's a wall. As is that. Did we just do it? We just succeeded after letting them score non-stop at the beginning and being one away from losing it. We just went on a streak and scored non-stop to finish it. That was maybe not the most efficient way to complete that trial, but oof. Who doesn't like a comeback, right? There. Now, is everybody happy? Oh, happy as can be, my doubtless pretty heart. So good of you to ask. On top of that, your performance was sufficient, and you passed my test. You have my congratulations, both to you and to your lovely leader. Now, be gone from here, before I have any second thoughts. Banishing your adversaries in the rites can create the opportunity for you to douse their pyre. Yeah, that's absolutely the approach I've been taking. Banish them, and then go for a quick counterattack. My, that Sandra sure could use a massage or something. So angry, isn't she? Say, what's that you have there, darling? You received Triesta's Plume for completing Pamitha's trial. It's a rank 12 talisman, so theoretically could get upgraded, but while flying, after dousing the adversary's pyre, Pamitha may instantly return and... Wait, what? While flying, after dousing the adversary's pyre, Pamitha may instantly return and deals 3 damage? I feel like I'm not understanding how that works logistically. So you score with her while you're flying, and then she also deals 3 additional damage and also instantly reappears? Huh? I mean, that seems ridiculously good. Mostly because she instantly returns, and usually when you score, you are gone indefinitely until either someone else on your team scores and they sit out instead, or until your opponent scores, in which case you get your whole team back. But to just automatically get her back sounds amazing. But I feel like I'm not fully understanding that one. So, I mean, we'll definitely equip it because it sounds awesome. But I'm curious. Alright, I think let's see if we can still squeeze in the actual rites as well. Let's explore. You end up spending part of the day with Tay, exploring the area surrounding your wagon. You learned that this area used to be a swimming hole many years ago. The water here is sick and crying out. I told it we were very sorry. Your lasting memory of the place is standing by the shore, imagining the feel of the water. As you head back in silence, you consider which of your vocations to pursue. Okay. So, one thing of note is that, yes, when we choose to study in private and we give everyone a small boost, we went through and did all of our quickness improvements already. There are a few others that we can do, but I was previously thinking that, yeah, so let's do this. I'll show you what I'm thinking. It's easier to explain when we're actually looking at it. You locate a secluded area nearby where you should be able to study the Book of Rites. Through greater understanding comes the reader's influence. Focus on which aspect of the Book of Rites. Okay, so what we've done is, we've already done this twice before, in which we improved everyone's quickness by 1. So first time we got +1, second time we got in total +2 quickness. And I was thinking that, you know, getting additional glory would be great, because it means that each point of glory raises how much damage your exiles deal to the adversary's pyre in the rites. So, the thing is, this is currently locked. We can't upgrade it until we master the other aspects of the book. And I was thinking, it takes us long enough to get all these that we might never get to the point where we can actually upgrade our glory. But now that I see that we have multiple rounds, multiple cycles of liberation rites, maybe we do have time to do some of this stuff. This improves the size of their aura, and this reduces the banishment duration. I think I like this one, because we play a pretty aggressive style in which we're trying to banish enemies and then zoom in to take out their pyre, but in doing so, we're putting ourselves in harm's way pretty often. So being able to respawn more quickly, I think, is a little more defensive in nature, but I think could still be very useful for us. So you concentrate on the substance of the words and teachings of the Book of Rites, such as you understand them thus far. The inspiration comes to you in a flash, whether from the book or from within, cannot tell. Gain the reader's influence spirit. Each rank raises your fellow exiles' hope, making them return from banishment more quickly, so all Nightwings gain +1 hope. And we have someone to talk to. It's Tay. Tay seems to be talking to the Black Wagon's walls again. Oh, fantastic. Though this time, something seems to have come over her. Little brother, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? You are unsure whether to check in with her or to leave her be. Tay is acting rather odd, even for her. Wait and listen. Tay would not be here if she lacked the capacity to work through her problems or get her attention. Your concern for her is such that you had best check in to make sure that she's alright. I mean, this does seem abnormally strange. So for that reason, I think it does warrant asking her if she's doing alright. Though Tay is clearly capable of surviving on her own, you do worry for her, and in this case, make an attempt to reach out to her. Oh, hi, Master. I don't think I saw you there. I just now, and so my little brother here and I, we were just talking, just for a little while. Well, I was the one doing the talking. My little brother, he's just a wagon wall, so he cannot respond. He can't respond, but he can listen, and he listens really well. Now I'd like to get back to my conversation here with him, if you don't mind. And you're welcome to stay though, if you'd like. It seems Tay is doing all right after all. She's just talking to her brother. She did invite you to stay. Perhaps you will learn something of her, or we can leave her be. And the conversation seems to be a private matter, not of your concern. I mean, she did invite us, but let's stick around. You decide to take Tay up on her invitation and keep listening to her conversation with the wall again. Or with the wagon wall. Her little brother, as she calls it. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I remember. It's that they always said that there was something wrong with me, but they wouldn't really tell me what. They said that I was a moon type. So what? We've heard about this before. Those deemed impaired by the Commonwealth standards were very different in a negative sense. So then, the scribes, they called me here. They are the ones that brought me here, not those people. They were so cruel. They were always so cruel. I didn't have a little brother at the time. No one that I recall, really. Though, so much of it back then, I can't really tell how much of it I dreamt. Most of it, but I didn't want it to be true. But I remember that they threw me out. They decided they would throw me out. And they let the scribes take care of me, they said. Scribes. They would take care of me. It was so very quiet here, and I was all alone again, although I think I liked it more. Being alone down here, than being alone back there. Everybody's alone down here, so it makes me feel less alone, somehow. Back there, why, I would sometimes see families, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers. Here, there was hardly anyone at all. But I knew that I was closer to the scribes. I knew that they were in the sky, above, and I did search for them up there, you know? And then, one night, I found them. I saw the stars, and they were falling to the ground, and I thought, why is it the scribes themselves are crying? They're sad, and maybe they're sad for me? Well, that was when I first saw you, little brother. With your help, I would get closer to the scribes. That way, maybe we could answer all of my questions. Don't you think? But I'm so very glad I found you, and the others. I'm finally not alone. I'm finally not alone, and more importantly, I think, sometimes I even feel that way. I'm not alone. Maybe, as we get closer, maybe, I will get to feel that way more often. Being here, or being anywhere, with you and all my friends. She falls silent. Though you were concerned for her at first, you sense that now she's at peace. She wanders off, faintly smiling. You sense you have a better understanding of her now. Right, we have an update on our bio of Tay. I think we'll wait a little bit before we read up on all those, because we've had a lot of reading this time around. We also see the singing sounds. The so-called singing is the sound of countless screeching wheel mites. Oh. Okay, then. Not as pleasant as I might have hoped. Let's continue our journey. We have the Spring of Jomir. Oh, yeah, okay. So we had the option of going here or to fall flat, but now we're headed straight to the place where we're gonna have the next right, and I mean, we're gonna face the dissidents who we did not fare well against last time. I'm hoping that with new friends to help us along the way, new talismans, we might be able to have a bit of a more successful go-round this time. However, supposedly they're going to be more powerful as well. Well, what is that? Here in the desolate sprawl of Jomir Valley, you encounter a messenger ape come to deliver news and rumors from the other side. The news this time pertains to Jodariel, whom you liberated at the fall of Soli. Okay. What are we going to learn? You learn Jodariel's past transgressions have all been forgiven. She soon was reinstated on the blood border, on the presumption that she wanted her old status back. In fact, she was offered an especially prestigious leadership position in the First Vale, for a demon such as she could not be seen in the streets. An elite blood border platoon shrouded in secrecy other than the famous results of its operation. Commonwealth's veiled leaders always were surrounded by sentinels in similar garb. Okay, so she's back and she's doing quite well for herself by the sound of things. But she refused the gesture rather bluntly, the report suggests. Instead, she sought Volfred's agents, as well as several of her former fostered sons and daughters, and so the ranks of the revolution grow stronger. Okay. She's definitely getting influenced by Volfred's plan, and seems to be playing along with it. The last part of the Messenger Imp's news must have been damaged in transit, though appears to be in Jodariel's own words. All you can tell is that it says, await. You thank the Messenger Imp for relaying this information. Your companions are excited to discuss the news. Wonder what the rest of her message said. There's nothing she can't handle. I miss her bad sometimes. I'm glad she's all right. You think she still has her horns now that she's back up there? Kiso is fired up about the news of Jodariel's return to the Commonwealth. Kiso is psyched. Then Ruki. You give it to him for us, Jody. I knew you had it in you. She is an inspiration to us all. Or to this night she is, at least. The news of Jodariel's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. Your companions gain +1 hope in the next rite. Oh, fantastic. Is Jodariel luck? I wonder if that has any implications in terms of the probability of success of Sandalwood's plan. Let's give that a quick peek. It was 28%, still 28%. So no change based off of that. Alright, and let's poke our head in the Book of Rites before we head off into the right. Scribe's Deeds. The words of Golgolothanian, Sir General. I wish to be remembered, not for boastfulness. Thus, I refrain from detailing our exploits across the land, save to say that they were numerous. Know that only through our combined strength of arms and wit did we withstand this savage land. Such were the monstrous dangers that it posed. I came to see that all the terrors which I heard at bedside in my youth, based entirely, in fact. So great they were, they blotted out the sky. Such was the evil that we vanquished, that remnants of it yet shine under the stars. And, in the end, it was the stars which guided us toward our truest calling. Looks like we have the Spring of Jomir. I oftentimes think of the carapace of the hive titan Belialtheus shall be an everlasting blemish on an almost splendid bit of land. Jomer, his brashness, felled the monster with a certain flair. This is in the words of Lou Splorian. Then the moon shone through the ridges of the massive carapace and shined upon the pooling ether, turning it into the freshest nectar ever to be tasted. The spring shall flow eternally, and those who walk within it shall experience the resplendent glory of the land. The stars began to fall there in the spring with regularity. We now know how soon again they shall do so, and wish you to see it for yourself. I think that is it. That's it for the book. Okay. And I believe we have a slug mark. Let's take a quick look. Oh, hey, you guys. Just, as I was thinking, hey, I haven't seen those guys in a little while, and I wonder how they're doing, and, maybe, like, they need to purchase anything? Hey, this looks particularly big. It is a scoop of stardust, but man, look at that. We have no coins. And it's not like we're about to pick a bunch up, even if we were to sell things. I would like to get this, but unfortunately we absolutely cannot afford it. This talisman looks new. What does it do? After dousing the adversary's pyre, the bearer earns a reward up to 3 times. Oh, another way to potentially gain a little bit of monies. Also seems like this would be quite useful for us. But even if we sold this, we wouldn't be able to have enough. Darn it. I mean, maybe it's starting to catch up to us that we have not been pursuing coins very often, if ever. Only on a few occasions when it happened to work out that, mostly by coincidence, we opted for the coin approach. So, yeah, I guess, unfortunately, nothing to do here. Okay, well, see you guys. Yeah, sorry. No business to be done that time around. Right, we've reached the Celestial Landmark. So, gonna be some tough adversaries this time, but we'll give it a go. As the sky grows dark over the Spring of Jomir, a hush falls over your companions, especially Ruki, who I assume is probably not going to be able to participate in this one again against these guys, given his history. You sense something is troubling him, something to do with your next adversary. Oh, hey chum, I just want to let you know I'm pumped and ready to take on the distance this time. Sure am, alright. That Parker, he's not so scary once you get to know him like I do, you know? So, don't worry, cause, I sure won't be going easy on him after last time. As Ruki marches off toward the clearing, you notice his grin fade away. In the distance, you hear the dissidents begin to hoot and howl. Here they come. Your adversaries grow stronger each time you face them. You may see which talismans and masteries they have prior to each right. Really? I don't know how we do that.
You exiles of the Night Wings, you are returned once more unto the Spring of Jomir. The adversaries you are to confront shall be the dissidents, whose ever pyre yet burns ere the break of dawn shall surge forward on the path to glory. Now prepare yourselves.
Oi, mates! Look at what we have here, Greentail. Is that you? Yeah, Barker. It's me, alright. Well, I'll be. So, tell you something then, Greentail. You gonna go against me this time? Or you keep on being a stinking coward like before, huh? What do I do? 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 Wait! He says he wants to fight. You can beat him. You can beat him. Maybe he'll leave us alone. He'll leave the Greentails alone. Parker? What is it, mate? The right's about to start. Well, I was thinking. I know I owe you and everything, but I got a deal for you. You like a good deal, don't you? Ah, I like a good deal. Like a good deal's laugh more like it. But I'll bite, Greentail. What's your fancy here? I was thinking, if I can beat you here, we're squared away. You let me off the hook. Ha! I see, but tell me something, mate. Now, why in this stinking world would I want to do a thing like that? What's in it for me when I beat you instead? Then we'll pay double what I owe. I promise. But you have to promise too. Perso. Oh, really now? Double or nothing then it is, eh? You drive a hard bargain then, mate. But alright, it's a deal. You beat me in my pack, right here, right now. And you're debt-free as far as I'm concerned. Of course, if you don't, I'll be fleecing you for all you're worth. You, your stupid uncles, and that dear old mom of yours. See you shortly then. Ruki then turns to you. Hey, so this one means a lot to me, you understand there, chum? Let me go against these guys and I'll make sure we show them up, okay?
Now we shall get started.
Oh, okay, so if we press here, we can get more information about the dissidents. This is probably what we saw that they were referring to before. I honestly didn't even realize this was a thing before. It may have been there the entire time. I never looked at it. Okay. We have Barker, who is very leveled up. Rank 20 talisman, grants the bearer plus 12 presence, so he has a big aura. Should make him more identifiable. He's the one with the biggest aura, so presumably he's the one in the middle there. He also can jump a second time while airborne. Uh-oh. We don't have a lot of jumping capabilities. Also, I just tend not to jump very often. Barker casts his aura 50% farther than usual. Yeah, so he has a very big aura that I'm not sure if this is just all the time that it's 50% farther, or if he activates this and then it gets 50% farther. But he has a lot of aura things, and he has some jumping things, in addition to being very quick. He has 18 quickness. I'm actually curious to compare their quickness against some of our characters' quickness, because last time they were zooming by us like crazy, and that was how they kept on scoring against us. His allies... Let's see. Prayer beads. After plunging into the adversary's pyre, the bearer has a chance to avoid banishment. 85%. Ooh, that looks powerful. Again, 50% larger aura than usual and second time jump. They might all have the same abilities. They do. Do they all have this talisman besides Barker himself? Yeah. Okay, so Barker's a little different in that he has a different talisman. And then quickness-wise... Oh, they actually do vary quite a bit, their stats. Barker's not necessarily the quickest. It looks like they have the ability to choose any of these allies here, but I'm assuming the ones with the stars on them are the ones that are actually participating, in which case we have 18 quickness and we have 14. One of them is actually a fair bit slower than the others. They all have 15 glories. They all deal 15 damage. Okay. Interesting to note. Okay. Then, as for our team, we want to put in Ruki, for sure. Ruki does have the double jump. I didn't remember that. Okay, so I mean we have to choose him, right? We'll give him his own talisman, even though, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of his talisman, even if it's his unique talisman that he got from his scribe trial. Now, that's a key difference, because we didn't have access to using him last time when we faced these guys, because he was a little intimidated. So, how else are we going to make sure that we do better this time than we did last time? I'm pretty sure we must have used Headwind. Granted, he's a lot more powerful this time. His allies regenerate stamina twice as quickly. Turn May return instantly. Wait, Headwind and his allies may instantly return banished allies. Oh, by moving to them where they fell. That is very powerful. So that might be enough reason to still keep Headwind, but let's see in terms of inspiration as well. I feel like this could be useful too. Just being a quick crowd clearing character as Tizo. Gilman is our fastest. I do really like Tamitha as well. Oh, it's tricky. Because on one hand, I want to take a different approach than we did last time, because we failed last time. But we do have some characters that we didn't have access to, so that might be our best answer. I think means we ought to use Tamitha. She has her own legendary talisman. So let's choose her. She has an inspiration as well. Ah, he said Pamitha. I heard that. It's not Pamitha, it's Pamitha. Confirmed. Okay, good. And should have figured that out a long time ago, admittedly. Now the question is, so Pamitha's actually kind of slow. We have a speedster, we have a mobility person. We could use Tizo as our kind of defensive person who clears out a lot of the enemies. Let's see. Oh, I wish that worked for him. After being banished by an adversary. If it was just after being banished, period, that would be amazing because he can banish himself. Well, let's suppose just give him the quickness. Let's do it.
The choice is cast.
It's Freya! Tizo is ready to help Ruthie defeat Barker and the Dissidents. Alright then, Greentail, bring it on. Or it's your dear old mom who's gonna pay. Right, it's gonna be tough. Let's do it. Oh, well, that was a great way to start. Also a great way to start. Oh, I missed. Gotcha. Got it. Nice. Okay, I see a lot of crowded stuff over there, but we can fly in with a good jump. Oh, maybe drop it. Oh, I thought I was gonna get rid of all of you. But fly. Oh, make it. No. Oh, that was rude. Whoa. I have no idea how you did that. That was lightning fast. What's the matter, Greentail? Methinks you seem a little nervous on your paws out there. Just shut up already, Barker. Let's get on with it. What's that you say, huh? You think you can talk back to me like that, Greentail? You heard me, Barker. Stay out of my damn way. Or what, mate? Or I'll sink these little nervous teeth into your neck. Jump.
That foolish Barker was a menace to the Commonwealth and is a blight upon the rights.
Oh, how dare you? Made it. Nice. Get out of the way. Oh, I tried to make a dash for it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, that was silly of me. No, sprint, sprint, sprint. Where'd your sprint go? Oh. Did he lose his sprint? Did he get all nervous and lose his sprint? Is that a thing? I don't know. Well, I was pressing the wrong button. Or I was just pressing the wrong button. That could certainly also be a thing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That was bad. That was bad. I got too aggressive there. Ooh, made it though. Made it. Good, good.
The rite is nearly ended.
Couldn't quite make it. Oh, and that was a bad idea. No, passed it. Passed it to a friend, which admittedly I've not really been doing very much, and ought to be doing a lot more. I ran straight into that. That was also a death sentence right there. Got it. Is that it? Did we win? We did it! Ooh! That is a relief. Ooh. I was nervous on that one.
The ceremony is complete.
Woohoo! We did it! We got him! Greentail, you just got us fair and square, mate. As fair and square as this stuff gets, right? So my family, you'll leave them alone. You said you'd leave them alone. Ease off there, Greentail. A deal's a deal. Now then, me and my packet better step it up for when we see you and your mates again. I'll be looking forward. Ruki watches him depart, then turns to you as his expression softens. Don't know what to tell you, chum, other than I really owe you one.
There is much to learn from this experience.
Not sure if we learned enough for anyone to gain a rank. Looks like Sir Gilman might have. Apparently not.
Until the next rite.
Check Volfred's planner to see how you and all your other competing triumvirates are faring in the rites. So I was assuming that by going up against the next highest team in the rankings that we would lower them down if we beat them. But I don't actually know if that's true, because apparently in the previous go-round we beat the accusers and yet they still rose in the rankings. So I'm not totally sure how exactly that works. I would have assumed it's based almost entirely on wins and losses, but maybe there are other things that matter, like how much damage you actually deal to the opponent's Pyre. Like if you lose but still deal a lot of damage, then maybe you can still rise up in the standings a bit. Not sure. Anyways, back to the Black Wagon. The Nightwings are unwinding after they prevailed against the Dissidents in a solid performance. The deadest hour of the night is approaching, so you excuse yourself to read the stars outside and plot a course for your next confrontation. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. You gaze into the darkness of night. I mean, I would like to see what the standings are before we pick our next destination. Azure Star, Vernal, or the South Star. Oh, we can still look at it. Good, good, good. So, like, the Dissidents, we just beat them, and yet they still appear to be here, at number 2. Which is a little confusing to me. These two are still tied. I don't know if it's not, like, maybe not everyone is competing at exactly the same time as us, so I would have assumed that at the same time that we're having a right, everyone else is having a right, so everyone's statistics, everyone's record changes at the same time. However, that may not be the case. It might be that, you know, as we're traveling, we're on the road to our next right, then during that time, other people are competing against each other, and some are going up and down. And this seems odd, that it appears as though nobody moved in the standings. I do remember you had 0 favor, and now you have 1. I suppose that's slightly different. Also, our probability of success went from 28 to 31%, so that's something. But anyways, let's see, who can we go against? We can go against the Essence, who were, I believe, one of the higher-ranking people. Yeah, they're tied for 2nd/3rd. That's probably the group we want to face off against. Otherwise, where were the other ones? I think you were in the middle of the table, so we'll leave you. And you were not so good. So, as in, your team was not so good. So I think we want to deliberately not face you in hopes of maybe running into you for the liberation, right? I think you're the one that's also tied for rank 3. So basically, we're trying to beat the dissidents that we just did, that we just went up against, and the Essence, not you. The Essence over here, the other team that's tied for 3rd place, and in doing so, allow these guys to be the sole people at rank 2, and basically defeat everyone else so that they can rise to the top of the table with us, and then we face them in the liberation rite because I don't think they're very good. That was what I was thinking we might do. So let's head over this way. I think either way, this is a good route for us to take. Even if it doesn't seem as though it does all that much for us to go up against the top teams, and it doesn't always lead to them lowering in the ranks. I mean, I think if we... Well, at the very least, we'll be testing our might against the challenging. Let's see. So we're to have another brush with Tamitha. Perhaps she'll spare me yet another moment of her time. She's here because of me, and I am here for her. Tamitha then tells you more of your next adversary, her own blood sister. Tamitha Thane, a harp of the Highwing Remnants, raised from birth to exile in outwitting and outmaneuvering her enemies. To excel, in outwitting and outmaneuvering her enemies. That makes more sense. She seems driven by her hatred for the Commonwealth. After retreating to the mountains centuries ago, the Harps refused to join the Commonwealth, and those old tensions boiled over into raids, or skirmishes, or all-out war. Flight tacticians such as Tamitha gave the Highwing Remnants a swift and powerful military presence to this day, despite the Harp's small numbers. She once hatched ambitious plans to overthrow the Commonwealth, breaching its defenses so her sisters could rain down untold destruction. On the darkest night of the year, she led a daring infiltration mission deep into her enemies' lands. It almost worked. However, she was betrayed by someone very close to her, someone branded a Commonwealth sympathizer, Tamitha. Tamitha was caught, clipped, and subsequently exiled as a prisoner of war. Being trapped within the downside only stoked her fury. I wound up in here not too long afterwards. Anyway, it's complicated. What happened between us? What I did for her own good, and that of all of our sisters. Though I'm beginning to doubt that Tamitha will ever see it that way. We'll see, I suppose. For now, I'd best try to catch what sleep I'm able. Pleasant dreams, then, darling. You bid a good night to Tamitha in turn. No time now to make flight preparations, though come morning, the Black Wagon will press onward. Alright, and with that, this is a good place to wrap up here. We beat the only opponents that have handed us a defeat thus far, so I was a little nervous, wasn't sure how things were going to go, but fortunately, we were able to turn things around and come up with a win, so hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.